Yes, we are live, and welcome to all the people tuning into HealthierLife.tv. My name's Paul Bursey, and I have with me Warren Connolly. Yes. So now, I think that we're dealing with something here. This subject that's interesting. It's going to overlap a lot of stuff we've done, but repetition is the mother of skill, as they say. So we need. You can advise someone to do something for over and over again, and it may be on the 12th occasion that they suddenly do it. So we're all like that, aren't we?
Or we listen to a total stranger and they tell you that, and then you listen.
You go and do it. Yeah. But your friends are telling you the same thing. Yeah. So today's headline is "Staying Calm in Uncertain Times," and it certainly feels like a time of uncertainty in a lot of ways. Really? What about yourself, Warren? Are you uncertain about anything because of what's happening at the moment?
Yes and no.
Just okay. Well, let's explore the yes.
Yes, let's explore the yes.
Like in other words, all right, the yes and no. So whatever.
Yeah. Yes and which no one? Scenario. No, yes, I'm uncertain in terms of, for example, like how my training or coaching business might evolve, or what that might look like. Okay, and how evolution of business around us at the moment, and how things have changed permanently, how that would affect how I do business. So that's uncertain in terms of uncertainty. And no, in the nutrition business, it's pretty much the same as, if not better. So in terms of business growth and health and things like that for people. So
yeah, I think we all like certainty. That comes down to things like habits and knowing you're going to get paid at the end of the month, that type of thing. That's the certainty. But sometimes we need a bit of uncertainty, the excitement and of knowing you're going out for the evening, but you don't know exactly where. You've never been there before, that type of thing. So you need both of those to balance life up. But at the moment, I think it's, for a lot of people, it's very unbalanced at the moment. There's a lot of distance going on. So people are not getting together as much. So that's this social distancing thing, which I'm not going to go into all that because it's definitely not my thing. But the big thing I think about is disconnection. I think people are more disconnected today. I know it's going to be different in different countries, but I think people are more disconnected than they've ever been. So the distance and the disconnection is like a double whammy.
Yeah. I mean, even prior to what's happened this year, you had many people were disconnected already, through technology. So, people were not in contact with what mattered the most, and so therefore had distanced themselves from people those closest to them already. And then this happened, what's happened since March this year, and it's just compounded that effect. It definitely has. And this is what's created more uncertainty in many ways, I think. It's because many people have become comfortable with being social distancing through technology, but now, because it's been kind of forced upon them through a condition or an external environment, that's what's created more uncertainty, I believe.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is isolation.
Definitely.
We're all different animals. Okay, so some people cope more than others, and I have to say, be totally honest, I felt isolated. I felt lonely in times. It may only last for half an hour, and then you have to snap yourself out of it and say, "No, don't be silly," and move on. But not everybody can do that, And the uncertainty of everything at the moment is causing that problem, and it also has a knock-on effect with your health.
Of course.
when we talk about the immune system. So I mean, humans themselves are hardwired for communication. That's and connection. That's what we do. Well, I know I am. Some people can cope without the connection better than others. And it's also about a sense of belonging, because we did a program last week, I think it was, on solitude. So if you haven't heard that one, I would strongly suggest going and listen to that one actually before you listen to this one. Okay, because this is, I suppose, like a continuation in a way,
Yeah. But also like I'm one of those people that I can do without company or contact with other people for extended period. I'm totally comfortable in my own space and with my own company. But I do thrive on interacting with other individuals as well.
Yeah,
I do definitely thrive as that. And then and we are, you touched on it a moment ago, is the sense of belonging. That is actually more important to us and who we essentially are than the contact with other people. It's a sense of belonging. The contact with other people can be very superficial, but and many people thrive on that superficial contact. But that sense of belonging is what really drives us. That's what really motivates us to be part of something. It's important to us.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to be part of something false. Okay.
No.
Sometimes we put up with it. But generally speaking, no, I don't want to be anything false. I'd rather not talk to anyone if that was the case. But
you see many kids experiencing that in their youth, as teenagers and as youngsters. They become part of a group of friends where there's no real friendship. It's all very superficial, very shallow.
What I call pseudo hugs.
Pseudo hugs. Okay.
Pseudo hugs.
Okay.
So, but if it keeps them going, who am I to attack that? But
at the end of the day, they're still finding themselves, though, Paul. This is the thing.
They are.
They're still finding themselves.
Absolutely.
And for us as adults, we should have found ourselves already by now to know the difference between a shallow relationship and a deeper and more meaningful relationship, and the real sense of belonging. They don't understand what it means to belong yet. They're still trying to figure that out for themselves.
Well, that's why it's such a challenge with some people, because this sense of belonging, which they don't feel, and they might not even know it's that, of course, obviously brings problems with anxiety and also feeling unsafe.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lack of connection because of the mobile phones that we all carry around with us most of the time. I left mine at home today by mistake, but generally speaking, I've got it with me, and you have the ability to be in touch with someone within seconds. But you watch some people now; they expect the person to pick the phone up when they ring.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous.
And I remember back to when we just had the ordinary phones with a wire.
Yeah.
You phone someone, they were never there. Nobody was ever there. And also, when we first had phones, we didn't have answer machines.
True.
That came later.
Yeah.
So you just phoned later. I phoned 3 or 4 hours later when I know they're going to be in from work. Or
I remember when I was a kid and the phone would ring, and if my mother was expecting, say, for example, one of my aunts to phone, her sister to be phoning. Then my mother said, pick it up. And if it's Auntie Heather, tell her I'm not here. And eventually I've
never done that before.
Eventually I was like, no. Hi, Auntie Heather. Yeah, Mom's here. Hang on a second. And I'll give her the phone. You know what I mean? I remember those days. A classic one was with my father phones. I was 16 years old and I hadn't heard from my father or seen my father anything since the age of 5. And I picked up the phone and I said, Warren Connolly speaking. And it was like, Warren, it's your father. I was like, excuse me? It's your father. I'm like, Mom, it's Daryl. Because I was in total shock because you couldn't see, you had no idea who it was, and the fact that he phoned after not hearing from him for 11 years, it's a complete shock to me, to my system.
Yeah.
So I just
well,
handed the phone.
Not expecting it.
Of course not. But if I had a mobile phone and I saw a number dialing through an unregistered number, okay, which I often don't answer today. If it's a number I don't recognize, unless it's here in Hungary, I very seldom phone it. Pick it up, I should say. All right. And because if it's important, then the person can message me afterwards. But this is the thing as well. It's some people will, because they feel that need for something, some kind of connection, so they'll pick it up regardless. And it's just because they feel that need for something like that. But yeah, those old phones are a classic. I mean,
I never give it a thought. Because when you're learning, when you're a teenager or whatever it is, when you had the phone, you didn't worry when the people weren't in.
Yeah.
It's now it's uncomfortable for you. You think
that
why aren't they there?
Yeah.
Why are they not sitting on their phone waiting for me to ring them? And it's like, but again, I mean, look, and the other thing is now it's not just the mobile phone. They've got about 4 or 5 different ways of contacting you at the same time. What with WhatsApp, Facebook, what's the other one? Zoom, and there must be others. I'm not even thinking about. But
there's Skype, there's Messenger.
Yeah, they used to have Google, didn't they, and everything. I mean, it's just like
that's like the old Paddy joke. Well, Paddy's sitting at the pub having his sixth or seventh pint, and his missus phones him on the mobile. And he picks it up. He goes, "How did you know that the pub?"
Yeah. So, but last little bit about the current circumstances. I mean, people face feelings of hopelessness. Again, it affects a few. Stress and fear and things like that. And so anyone listening in on this call that feels those things, maybe you should talk and give us a shout. But, don't ever feel lonely. So, because of what's happening at the moment, there's no reason to just send a message, type anything in, we'll give you a shout. I mean, that's,
and in the same breath, the best thing to do actually in times of those times is to pick up the phone and phone somebody you haven't spoken to for like 10, 20 years. Yeah, that's probably one of the best things you can do for yourself. It's just somebody who's become a stranger that you used to know. Just pick up the phone and just see how they're doing, and just reach out and make contact with somebody again that you haven't spoken to for a long time. Yeah, it will do wonders for your spirits and and who knows what else. Honestly,
absolutely. Yeah. So the question remains, obviously in line with staying calm in uncertain times, is how can we become unstuck? Maybe someone's in a bit of a rut. So what would you suggest for someone to get out of that?
For someone to get out of a rut is
because of
change your habits.
Because they're not calm because of
change your habits.
Uncalm. Is it
so
uncalm?
Unsettled.
Unsettled. Yeah.
Change your habits. So start to figure out what sets you back each time you become unsettled. What is it that's triggering that part of you that causes you to become unsettled? And it could be something as what you may deem as insignificant or innocuous as watching the news. Yeah. You could be watching the news every day at 6 o'clock, okay, whatever time the news is on. I'm not sure these days, every hour, right? But you could be watching the news, and that causes you to become unsettled and lose that calmness that you've had.
One of the things I was going to mention was the news, and I will. I'll come to
that. Change that habit. Change that habit. You don't have to watch the news. The news is actually, in times like this, the news is the worst thing you can be doing to yourself, is watching the news in times like this.
Because I refuse to watch anything about the current situation at the moment.
Yeah, because it's not designed.
Situation.
It's not designed to make you feel good. The news is not designed to make you feel good. The news is designed to get you thinking in critical situations and in dangerous predicaments and controversial environments. That's where the news is designed to make you think these days. It's not like the days of old where the news gave you objective information. Today, the news is look, this is not my opinion. This is pretty much known. The news is biased these days. Doesn't matter which news.
Yeah, absolutely, and
biased. And so it's not designed to make you feel good. So stay away from the news. If you're meant to find the news will find you.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. If you're meant to know what is actually happening, it will find you somewhere, somehow. You may have a phone call, maybe talking to a friend on the phone, and they mention something about something they saw in the news today. Then it will find you. But otherwise, you don't need to. And I'll use the news as an example for a trigger, because it often is a trigger for people, the news. You watch the news and you feel shitty afterwards. Yeah. And it's natural, because that's what the news is all about. So figure out what is it that's causing those triggers in you when you feel uncertain and unsettled, and then change that habit. Replace it with, don't just do nothing, but replace it with something that is more empowering for you, more, instead of watching the news, watch a comedy sitcom.
Yeah. So in other words, what you could suggest is going on a media fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch too much news. I watch a little bit now and then, but I don't enjoy it, and I end up switching it off. And
he has an option for folks. This is an option for folks. If you use your phone and you do searching on your phone for different information, maybe on YouTube or stuff like that, your matters of interest, things that interest you, okay? Excuse me. If you go to Uncle Google, okay?
Not Uncle Bulgaria.
Uncle Google, right there. All right, and you click on Uncle Google. Now, for me, I can show you now. I don't mind showing you. My interests are sports, obviously, the cosmos and the galaxy around us. I don't know if you can see that clearly. So that's the next one. Archaeology, that's another interest of mine. Okay. Sometimes politics comes up. You can't get rid of that, unfortunately. And then other sports. So if you're using your phone to search for different things that are of interest to you, and you go to Google, it'll bring up news based on those subjects.
Yeah, I found that. I mean, the first thing that comes up on my Google every time is about Arsenal football.
There we go. Very often for me, it's Manchester United.
Yeah,
Manchester United is my team, and very often Manchester United stuff will come up as one of my first feeds. Top two feeds, very often. But the thing is that my interests are quite diverse. All right. So as you saw, the cosmos, archaeology, our ancient history, past civilizations, sports, health-related stuff. These are my interests. So these are the feeds that come up on my Google, because these are the things that I'm either searching for or I'm watching on YouTube. So therefore, it's going to correlate. And if you want to stay away from the news, but still keeping abreast of certain things that are going on around us, then go that way, in all honesty.
Yeah. I think, news, very, very important to either jettison it from your life or seriously reduce it. That would be my advice. The second thing is find a routine. Now, 3 words together, find a routine. What are we talking about? Well, we do talk about it a lot, so we're not going to go into it in a deep way. But whatever you're going to do, find something that's uplifting. Something that's positive, something that moves you and makes you feel good. That's what I would say with a routine. And you can expand your routine. You can find little things to do. Could be anything really. I don't want to get into it too deeply because I don't want to overflow into other little bits I'm going to say. But find a routine that you like and that's positive, right? And as I say, keeps you in a good mood. It's and you've got to pay attention to what you're doing. I personally think that, and so the second thing is I just made a note here of something. I can't read it because I bet it too small. Yeah. I can't even bloody read the thing. No, it was about media. It was actually the next thing was about media.
Okay.
So the next thing. So I'm glad you did media. That saves me doing it. And so I hate that subject. So connect with nature. This is huge.
Oh yes.
And as I said to you before, and you might have heard me say it before, scenery, wasn't interested. The only time I became interested was when I started climbing up mountains and things like that. Okay. Then I got really interested in scenery.
Yeah.
But then I extended it to gardens and things like that. I'd never thought for 1 minute that I'd be interested in gardening. I haven't got a garden, but I'm interested in doing it.
No, gardening is nice. I find it very cathartic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic.
Yes.
But also when you go to visit gardens that are absolutely magnificent.
Oh.
So here we've got the National Trust in the UK, where you have lots of different places. You pay so much a year. You can go and visit all these places,
I'd love to go to Versailles.
Oh yeah, the Palace of Versailles.
I'd love to go
to Versailles. I believe, just south of Paris, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I'd
love to go. I've not been there, so
just walk and go through those mazes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But the whole thing about going to the Palace of Versailles or going out into the forest or wherever it may be, okay, is about soaking it all in and letting your 5 senses pick up on as much as they possibly can.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So whether it's the vision, you're hearing things, you can smell certain things. Hopefully they're nice, but but yeah, and you get to exercise, you get to walk, and it's very what would be the word? Depends on where you're going. It could be enthralling, it can be exciting, it could be relaxing, and this can make a big difference in these uncertain times. I know sometimes that you get stopped by going to these places, but at the moment in the UK we can. So how long that's going to last, I don't know, but I think it's
what's it like being out of lockdown now?
No different to anything else.
Okay.
Seriously, it's no different. Probably because most of us were cheating anyway. Not cheating on the things that can cause a problem.
Yes, but
okay. But maybe maybe you couldn't travel here, but you did. That type of thing. I wouldn't dream of putting anyone in danger of anything. I had my own thoughts on it, but they stay my thoughts. So moving on, we've mentioned this quite a lot, and I think it's vital in my life, and that's gratitude, and lumped together with empathy.
Okay.
Not sympathy.
No, that's very different.
Yeah. I'm not saying you aren't sympathetic at some stage, but what I'm saying is on a grander scale, empathy. You have to understand how other people live, and and obviously show gratitude for what you've got, and it's important. I mean, look, the mere fact that I can see you, Warren, is brilliant. Now I know joke about it, but I really mean that. We get to breathe. You can talk. Now, whether people like my talking is another matter, but and I can hear music and things like that. So you've got to be grateful for your family and children and partner, or or mum, dad, rest of the family, or some of the family anyway.
Not just that. It's just going to be grateful for the position you find yourself in as well, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a bad predicament right now and you're finding that your income has reduced, or you don't have any income coming in, or it looks like your income's going to disappear, or your health is deteriorated in some shape, form, or way. Just be grateful for what you have. If you can be grateful for what you have, then you're actually telling the universe that you're grateful to have more.
Absolutely. Yeah? You should be grateful for what you have, definitely.
Yeah.
And don't be ungrateful for the things you don't have.
Yes,
That's the other side of it. I mean, and the other thing, gratitude helps your immune system big time.
It does. True.
Right? Because it puts you in a good mood. And if you're in a good mood, you release certain things into your bloodstream. If you're in a bad mood, it'll be something else. Okay? So very, very important. So do your best not to focus on the negative, very, very important. So
and
what else have we got?
If you ever do find yourself focusing on the negative, just quickly, Paul, and if you find because often with people, when they are in uncertain times, a negative thought comes into their head and then it just broils over and it just kind of just rolls from one thought to the next thought to the next thought. And before they realize it, they have a whole hospital full of bad thoughts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
so it's a bit like a mental snowball that then becomes a mental ice ball. That's huge.
Ice frozen lake. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you ever find yourself and you know that this is something that is a trait of yours, and you have you're likely to go down that road, then the moment you think a bad thought, just literally jump up and break that cycle immediately. So whether that be get up and go to the toilet, get up, turn around, or do something that will break that cycle immediately in the moment. If it requires a slap across the face, slap yourself across the face and look at yourself in the mirror and have a good laugh, but do something that will cancel that programming in the moment. Don't leave it for a second. And one of the easiest things to do is just to say, cancel, cancel, cancel. So if a bad thought comes to your head, just say, cancel, cancel, cancel. Yeah. Anytime. And if it comes back again, cancel, 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 till eventually your consciousness becomes conditioned, all right, to release that negative thought, because it's like a little child. It needs conditioning sometimes. And very often you have these bad thought habits or cycles because it's conditioning. So what you need to do is you need to change that conditioning. It's like, for example, we've just adopted a three-year-old dog last week. Today's her first week anniversary with us, and she has a couple of bad habits because she's lived in a cage all her life. Okay, so she has a couple of bad habits, and we're working on correcting those bad habits. But it takes time, So every time she leans towards one of those habits, we immediately catch it, and we try to break that immediately. And it's the same with your subconscious and your conscious mind. You need to just snap it and then change it with a cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yeah, let me give you an idea of disruption. Now, this has got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it does, just to show you that it does work. Okay, I was a police officer, as you know, off duty in a nightclub, speaking to this Irish fella. I didn't know there'd been a problem earlier in the evening where the Irish fella had a words with or threatened or something, had done something with someone else. And all of a sudden, I was talking to this Irish fella, and we were surrounded by 7 people who were really under the influence of cocaine.
Ooh.
Right? I knew. I can't. I'm not going to go into that, but take it from me.
You knew. Yeah.
I was surprised, and most of them were surrounding me, not him who caused the problem, but me. And I knew I had seconds before I was laid out. Really, I knew it was coming. So. It didn't frighten me at all. I just knew it was coming. And you don't know if they carried knives and things like that. So I went, right, break the pattern, disrupt it. So I went to the 2 main people, there were one there. Sorry, one there. I said, do you boys want a drink? Totally. Seriously. It totally took them away from thinking about battering me.
Yeah.
Not that I had a problem with them. And I went and got them a drink now, and they obviously sorted the Irish fella out while I was away.
Okay.
I don't even know the bloke, So
there's a lesson.
But that's the same thing. As if you're feeling bad, if you're not calm, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling lonely, you need to break the pattern up. You break the pattern up by maybe going for a walk, getting up, walking around, do some deep breathing. Maybe as we move on to the next bit, which is pause and reflect. Pause it, stop it, press the stop button. No, I'm not going to feel like that anymore. All right. Then reflect of what maybe caused it. If you can't work out what caused it, move on. Go for a walk. Have a cup of tea. Change it. Phone someone who you know is going to be friendly. There's a million and one things you can do, but you must disrupt the pattern. It works, believe me. So pause and reflect is what we're talking about. There is something like solitude. Well, I said about the call we did last week, meditating. There's lots of things you can do. So
I had a very similar situation in a pub as well one night. Very similar situation. I was surrounded by a group of Lebanese mafia guys, and I just broke their pattern. I broke their just like that. Yeah, and they all ended up having a good laugh.
Yeah.
They were ready.
I've done it. I have done it before as well in other things. It does work. You can fool people. Trust me, you can fool people. But break the pattern. It works. It works every time that I've done it, without a shadow of doubt. You just got to get someone away from that immediate thinking. Okay.
That Irish guy was foolish though. He should have. That's one of the key rules. If you have a problem in a club or a pub with somebody,
the
moment that problem's resolved, whatever the case may be, you leave. Whether you won the fight or not,
get out of Dodge.
Get out of there. Go somewhere else. Because especially if you won, that person's invariably going to come back with heavy armor.
Yeah. It was. So yeah, I mean, look. If you've got a challenge, ask yourself, what caused it. If you can't work out what caused it, how can I change it up? And you listen to yourself without judgment, without because we can be very nasty to ourselves sometimes, and we don't want that. At the end of the day, what we want is to be peaceful, move on, put it behind us. Accept it, understand it. Don't try and bury it, but and move on and do something different. And
just reflect on it, and then just
Now, the other thing is distinguishing between fear and anxiety. Some people mix them up. Okay, fear, as I say, is false evidence appearing real. It's real. It's real to you, believe me. Okay, when you're fearful of something, but anxiety can build up. So just be aware of. Be aware. In fact, have awareness of what's happening to you, how you're feeling, and know, one, it will pass, and two, you can change it around. And very, very, very important. So, and as we've spoken about this before, and about the fact that you want to get something done, but you keep putting it off. It gets worse and worse, and there's not very much out there that can hurt you. Trust me.
On the note of fear, I wonder what the anxiety is an acronym for, but
we can work that one out, couldn't we?
we can come up with. I'd like to try that one, especially with that X. That'll be quite challenging.
Awful negative.
What?
Awful. The first two letters, A and N. Awful and negative.
But fear, the chemical reaction in the body to fear is the same when you're experiencing fear or excitement.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling anticipatory excitement for something or fear, it's the same chemical reaction going on in your head. The only difference is the thought that's in your head. It's the picture that's in your head. Yeah. If you watch a kid at a roller coaster, a kid may be scared to go on the roller coaster for the very first time, but you watch their body reactions or their body patterns, their movement patterns, and their face, okay, before they go on their first roller coaster ride. It's exactly the same as when they were going on the second or third or fourth ride. It's that anticipatory excitement. And it's the same thing. So if you are experiencing fear, just change the picture in your head. Change the picture in your head. because it's the same reaction in the body. Just change it to anticipatory excitement. Yeah. So, for example, if you're feeling fearful, what might happen? Who knows what's going to happen? We can't control what may happen because it may never ever happen. Okay. You can't worry about anything because worrying about anything is it's what's the word I'm looking for? To worry about something is really foolish in many ways because you can't control what may or may never happen. Okay,
no, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are feeling fear for something that may or may never ever happen, what's the point? Just change the picture in your head.
Yeah.
And when you change the picture in your head, your energy will change automatically. Okay, but the energy that's going on in the body will be the same, but the result of the chemical reactions going on in your system at that time will be different if you change the picture in your head. And that's going to help you to overcome whatever challenges you're experiencing.
Absolutely. So the last thing I was going to mention was self-compassion.
Oh, nice.
Okay, which I would imagine we're all guilty of either ignoring. Yeah. You back all right?
No, I'm just giving myself some self-compassion.
Oh, I say sorry. I think because I know you've got a back injury, haven't you? So,
Yeah.
but no, self-compassion very, very important. Look, we're all doing the best that we can. Sometimes we let things slide a little bit, but it's okay. Know that you're worthy of care. But the best care is self-care. Okay, don't rely on other people because it may not turn up.
True.
But you don't know you don't know if it's going to turn up. You can't guarantee it, but what you can guarantee, if you want to, is guarantee your own self-care, taking care of everything. All right, we all go through it, and some people react worse than others, but there's nothing stopping you looking after yourself.
True.
All right, to be able to look after other people, you need to take care of yourself first.
That's 100% correct. Yeah.
And it's got to be done. Now is the time to take care of yourself, so that you can then transfer that onto other people. Okay, you can't look after a sick relative if you're sick.
Yeah, but also the fact that you start to take care of yourself, whatever that may look like, the moment other people in your life see that, it will inspire them to do the same thing, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. It's like very often you see this happen where you have a family, one person decides to start, let's say you have a family of overweight people. One of the individuals in the family starts to lose weight, lose fat, get fitter, get stronger. And invariably it will start to inspire at least one other member in the family to do the same thing. Now, or if not in the family, in the friendship circle. Now, if that's all you do is inspire one other person to change their life, that's huge. One person is huge in the bigger scheme of things, because that one person that you've now inspired, they may inspire somebody else. And then that person may inspire 2-3 other people to change their life. And then that's when it grows and it grows. So
funny enough, there's a classic video out there on YouTube, isn't there? I think I hear it quite a few times, and where I think it's a pop concert where the first person starts dancing on their own, and they're on their own, and then all of a sudden someone else joins them.
Okay.
Which then kicks off everyone else gradually, so everybody's ending up dancing because we all wait. If you say you remember it, but the thing is, it takes is 1 or 2 people.
It was a music
to
festival.
Get a movement going. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it was a music festival. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's a pretty innocuous video, really, but the thing behind it is the fact that who wants to be the first one up dancing? That type of thing. Who wants to be first? And there's not many people that get up first.
No.
I'm not the first one at parties to jump in the swimming pool, fully clothed, but that's just me. But apart from that, I'm not normally first. If it's dancing, no, definitely not. So.
You mean you don't mind having a good laugh at yourself, but you don't like to embarrass yourself?
Yeah.
There's a difference. Jumping in the pool fully clothed is having a good laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
getting
yeah,
up to dance, getting up to be the first one to dance, that could be embarrassing. So
maybe you don't consider yourself a good dancer, or you might, I don't know. Just everything's different for everyone. So it's. But just moving on, just finishing up now.
Good.
3 things. We say it all the time. Get plenty of sleep, quality sleep. Okay. Also, make sure you're surrounded by positive people. Not all the time, because that's unrealistic. But on occasions, during your day, make sure that you speak to someone about something positive, read something positive, watch something positive, so that you stay on track, because it's so easy to go downhill when you got these mental monsters that you think about in your brain. They get bigger and bigger. You know what it's like with moods and everything. And use deep breathing. Use deep breathing, even as part of this, what we're talking about, taking care of yourself, not feeling uncertain. Don't try and fight all this on your own. That's the other thing. All right.
Deep breathing is a huge tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feeling uncertain. Just take that moment when you're in that moment of reflection, which we spoke about. When you're in that moment of reflection, and that just be doing some deep breathing exercises. And if you don't know what deep breathing exercises look like, go to YouTube and you'll find something on there. Or otherwise, reach out to Paul or myself, and I'm sure we'll be able to help you with that, because I practice that regularly. So
I do it every day.
Yeah, good.
But also your body needs oxygen as well, just purely from a healthy standpoint as well. So,
and this is the other thing. When the body is lacking in oxygen and we're not moving around as much as we normally do, okay, and if this is you're one of these individuals that is more sedentary now than you have been before. When your body is in a stationary position for an extended period of time, your breathing naturally reduces, and therefore you get more of a buildup of carbon dioxide in your system, less oxygen in your system. And when that happens, it's very easy for your thoughts to turn toxic. Very easy for your thoughts to turn toxic, because now your head you're not getting enough oxygen going to the brain and stuff like that, and your body will start to go into a bit of a fight and flight mode type of scenario. Not to that equation, but if you get the picture what I'm trying to say, your body will change. And if it's over extended period of time, this is when the negative thoughts start to accumulate within us. Yeah. So breathing is essential. It really is very important.
Yeah, and as I say, that's why I do it with meditation every day.
Good, man.
So, all right, okay, that's us done for the day, I think. Unless you want to say anything else, Warren?
Nothing more to be said.
Great, fantastic call. Please don't forget to comment at all, especially obviously not so much live now, because we've got the comments that we're going to get. But when you listen to this call, when it's not live, think about it. Think how you can contribute yourself to this call, and ask us questions, show a bit of love, and we've enjoyed doing this call.
Love.
Good old Beatles.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Lovely. We'll see you next Wednesday when we're back on with successcafe.tv. Next Friday when we're back with HealthierLife.tv. So have a fantastic weekend and have a great week next week. So we'll speak to you soon.
Ciao.
See you later.
Have a beautiful weekend, everyone.
Yeah. See you later. Bye.